join me in saying, with hearts grateful for all the good things that are ours, we dedicate our gifts. Amen. Aho, blessed be. And in our church we say Amen to honor the Judeo-Christian traditions. We say Aho, which is a Lakota, spiritual word meaning basically Amen. And we say blessed be to honor the pagan paths. Next slide, please. I want to introduce our speaker. I love this picture with a great big kitty cat. Dr. Lewis Gates, Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates, is a spiritual medium, healer, and teacher, and a minister in Casadega, Florida, with a doctoral out of the University of Metaphysics. Born in 1952 into a family of mediums and psychics that goes back 5 generations. He's been seeing spirit since age 3, and as a teenager began to really seriously develop psychic gifts. Our friend found that he can see, sense, and hear spirit, and has been gifted with clairvoyance that allows him to do this with relative ease and comfort. He has been fortunate to be able to do this for a long, long time, many decades. There is no death, there is no end, only eternal progress open to every human soul. Our loved ones wait to greet us, and they send love. Dr. Gates has a guy named Jeff, and maybe he'll tell us more about that. But he's had many, many experiences that have confirmed his faith, and he is available to do readings and to be seen speaking, lecturing, ministering, and doing healings in Casadega, Florida, to the west of here. Please help me to welcome Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates.
When the picture came out, it was a little scary, so I don't know. What I wanted to talk about today was the eternal heart, connection through devotion in our lives. And I've learned in my life through devotion, devoting myself to spirit. And how we perceive what spirit is, that's our path in our life, our connection to us. Is what do we see when we visualize spirit? Do we see loved ones? Do we see a God? What do we see in our inner vision of what we expect spirit to be? As I walked,
We're gonna need a microphone. Take this microphone here and hold that right there. That'd be good.
hold it.
Yep. You can talk, we're gonna get that up there. Is it green? Right up there. There you go. Okay.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. What I wanted to talk today about was the eternal heart, was that connection to ourselves. And my little story with my mother when I was young, my mother used to have me focus, and she used to put a candle out in the middle of the room. And she'd tell me, just focus on the candle. And if your mind wavered, went off somewhere else, bring it back to the candle. Acknowledge that you saw what you saw, but bring your knowledge back to the candle. So I could focus my intent when I was connecting to spirit. And it took me a while, it was a little bit of work, but eventually I could just stare at the candle for hours and never waver from the candle. But it was always work, and I've always understood that with religion or with things that we do in our lives. There's this work from our own being into that situation. We have to kind of put ourselves into it, but the way we work at the religion. Because I was raised in a very spiritualist family. My father was a Southern Baptist minister, my mother was a spiritualist, so we had major discussions at the dinner table every Sunday. But I learned from different religions that everyone has their path, their journey, their right version within their life. Is that how we say to ourselves of what we deserve? what we deserve in our lives. Do we deserve health? Do we deserve relationships? Do we deserve this in our lives? And that's what the eternal heart is. How do you bless yourself? We're constantly blessing everyone around us, everything in our lives. But every once in a while you need to sit and bless yourself. Bless your energy within your being. You have to say blessings over yourself. And that's through affirmations. That's through saying blessings over your life. I am healthy. I am abundant. I am this. I am. And when we do that, and we constantly do that within our lives, it allows us to bring those blessings inward. When I was taught to breathe when I was a child, I was never taught to breathe through my nose, hold it in my lungs, and breathe out into the spirit world. I was told to breathe through my third eye. Act as if there's a waterfall coming through my third eye, down into my lungs, and then breathing out blessings into the world. If I breathe out disease or discomfort and things into the world around me, then I've always come to that conclusion that I am broken. I have stuff wrong with me. But allowing yourself to breathe in the energy from spirit, hold it, and then breathe out blessings in the spirit world, you're allowing yourself to tell yourself, either consciously or subconsciously, you're not broken, you are okay. We're all okay, we just have to, we have things in our lives that happen that throw us a little off balance. But by breathing, by speaking blessings over our lives, we come to a point that we go, oh, I feel good, I feel better. When I go home and I have things happen in my home, I take out this recording from Louise Hayes. It's 101 positive thoughts. And I put that on the record player and I let it play throughout the house. I let the walls and the ceiling and the furniture, everything take on all those positive thoughts in my home. And people walk in my house and go, oh my God, it feels so good here. Because I've been playing really good, positive thoughts into the space. The same thing we need to do with our own being is to tell ourselves that we deserve everything we need in our lives. Everything. By breathing, and by breathing through the third eye, you open the pineal, the hypothalamus, you open all those glands, those clear seeing glands, and everything into your vibration. And then by touching the Christ Spirit within you, and then breathing out these positive energies into the universe, you are connected. You are connected. And as long as we bring that into our being, sure, we're going to share this positive energy with others. You can never change the world. You can only change the space where you're at, and then that space that you have changed where you are at, in turn, changes the world. You might want to go out and change everything, but if you don't change where you're at, where your vibration's at, you're not going to do too much good for changing the world at foot. So understanding that you are the catalyst to change the people around you. We always say that in Casadega, people come out to Casadega, oh my God, we're going to change this place. We have come with it, but we have come with the trucks. We've come to change this place. Well, they're not there long. Because you're not here to change it. You can't change it. You can only change you. And by saying those blessings, by connecting to your higher self, by doing these vibrations in your lives, by focusing your meditation, by getting quiet and focusing it. I always like people, when you sit and talk to your higher self, talk to God, sit in reverence. Set an appointment with Spirit. Set an appointment with them to sit and be quiet. If you want them to show up, at least set an appointment. To let them know that you're there, that you have arrived and you're ready to speak to them. And it's that repetition of connection to Spirit. Because the more you do it, and all this work that we do in the spiritual realms, and the different things in our lives, it's all through psychometry. It's all it is. The more you do something, the stronger it becomes. The place you meditate, the more you meditate in that space, the stronger the energy in that space will become. The stronger you attract your vibration into your heart chakra, the stronger that energy becomes within you. becomes stronger. It builds upon itself the more energy you put into it. So when you're actually arriving and talking to spirit, connecting to the spirit world, wanting to speak to someone, address them out loud from your being. Then sit quietly and reverently. Allow them to speak to you. Allow them to speak. Our guides, I've always known throughout my life, people follow us from the spirit world. They never leave us. They follow us. They help. They encourage. They are connected to us through our life journey or life connection within our lives. So they follow us. They help. They encourage when they can. And they're blessing us with their presence. Every day you'll hear a song on the radio and all of a sudden it'll remind you of someone in the spirit world. You'll hear something or see something and say, oh, that's so-and-so. I might walk out of here today and see butterflies and say, oh, come on, Mom's here. Everything has a purpose in our lives, the journey. And I told somebody the other day, it is not the destinations in our lives, never where we're going. It's the journey that we have our free will and choice. How we arrive at the destinations in our lives. How we personally arrive. Crawling, walking, or riding in a limo. We have to decide how we want to arrive in our lives. And that's by fixing this. Sure, we have things in our lives. Everybody has stuff. But a lot of us are not what I would call hoarders, just really good collectors. Might not be hoarders, but really good collectors. And we have stuff that we've read a book, we've done things, we move past that. It's no longer our vibration. It's no longer our connection. But we store it still. It's still on the shelf. It's still there. Instead of placing it out somewhere and allowing somebody else to take what we didn't need to use in their life, allow them to use what we didn't receive. We took what we needed to, but we allowed the rest to leave our vibration. Not to clutter the shelves and clutter the vibration, but not to be streamlined, but have enough in your life that you go, I'm good with this. As my mother used to say, every once in a while, as individuals in this lifetime, we need to sit down and have a come to Jesus moment every once in a while with ourselves. Kind of really understand what's going on behind us before we move forward. Have a moment of clearing, regrouping, and rebalancing every so often, every month or so. Just kind of take a view into the inner kingdom and see what's there. What's bothering you? What's happening? When my father used to read the Bible to his church, he used to say, where two or more are gathered, there I am. I always remembered with that. I always thought, I said, well, two or more are gathered. Higher self, physical self. Where two or more are gathered, there I am. We're connected to the higher sense of consciousness. We have to get that higher self on the same level as our personal self. You want to test yourself, go home and get quiet. Say something out loud that you would like. Then get quiet and see what that inner voice is telling you. That inner voice, the higher self, should be on the same page, be on the same vibration. And that's where the training comes in. That's where the focus comes in. To quiet that inner voice. To bring it on the same level that you're looking for. We all this is work, it's stuff. Any religion is work. It's not work. We have to put ourselves into it. Nobody came in here, ran this church, and nobody did anything in this church. I mean, there wouldn't be much left in here for you guys to take care of. But nobody did the work. People come to do the work. They come to put the work in to make the place inviting for others to arrive. That's the same thing with our being. We have to clean the shelves, redo the vibration, understand where we are at, so we can invite others in our lives to enjoy the energy that we're expanding out from our being. Be good to yourself. There's a book, it's Your Life, it's by MacArthur, Bruce MacArthur, and it talks about universal law. books, How to Put Your Life in Order. Good book, still in the market. And there's a book on psychic healing. There's the whole book. I read the whole book, awesome book. But there's only one major thing out of that book that I really kept in my life. There was a verse, a poem in that verse. I am soul, I am light divine, I am love, I am will, I am fixed design. I always loved that. I am soul, I am light, I am love, I am fixed design, because I ain't changing this. And what you see is what you get. So I am who I am. And I say that in spirit. But I asked what I possibly could need in my life. And then see what spirit does. What propels itself into my being? Who propels ourselves? Sometimes we don't notice who's here. We kind of walk with blinders on, trying to maneuver our path and not watching who's around us. Even today, we watched all the people come up here today and say for blessings and joys and concerns. And these are people with concerns and blessings and joys in their life. And for us, sitting in the audience, we send out our joy and our blessing to them. So it gathers with their joy, it gathers with their blessing, so they allow them to rise to a higher vibration within their life. And what we're doing is encouraging the whole, not just the one. But we have to be able to do that when we have this heart vibration in our lives. Oh, those I have a broken heart. Oh my God, they stepped on my heart. Oh, we allow things in our lives to happen. What if the one thing that you thought was so bad in your life was never yours to begin with? Never your connection. You were collateral damage. You just got in the wrong taxi, took you around town to the wrong direction. It wasn't yours. But we suffer for all our lives. I had a lady come for a reading not too long ago, and she spent 40 years thinking her mother hated her with a passion. She suffered for all 40 years. And so I brought her mother through and told her about her mother. And it relieved all this stuff and 40 years of hurt of where she was, when her mother never really disliked her. Mother didn't dislike her, but we hold that in our vibration. Things happen in life from people, situations in life, because maybe they're going through something that they're just lashing out at this moment. Allow them to be. Send them blessings. My mother used to always say that. People are giving you bad times there, just send them good times, because they'll eventually walk into it. Yeah. But we allow ourselves to feel bad about situations. But send blessings to us. Send encouragement. Oh, we got a bad health report. We got a bad health report. Send blessings into that. Don't tell ourselves we're sick. Tell ourselves we're healthy. Relationships come and go in our lives. But did we bless the individuals while they were here? By blessing ourselves, by encouraging that well-being, but allowing you to be you. You. It's all these blessings within our lives that we do in our lives. We connect. Every one of you have a connection to spirit, whether it's intuitive, empathic. You have some kind of connection to spirit. You should work on that. Listen to yourself. Voices will come. Things will come. Inspiration will come. The empathic abilities will keep you out of trouble and keep the crazies at bay. So keep the ones that you're like, ooh. Because we know who we want in our lives and who we don't. We have a strong connection to that. But allowing yourself to feed the universe. This church, you guys have all the ministries and things to help, to encourage, to bless other individuals. But every once in a while, bless you. Bless this heart within you. Your journey. Because I guarantee you, when you get to the spirit world, The only judge, jury, executioner is going to be you. You're it. Look at the judge, it'll be you looking back at you. Jury, you. It's you. It's how you treat yourself. How badly you can treat yourself. And that's that inner voice, that inner twining voice within your life. Telling you, oh, you'll never do that. Oh, you'll never have that. By quieting that, by understanding that you can stop it from speaking. And listen to only positive thoughts, your vibration. Let those rain upon your work field, and pretty soon, everything in your life will be positive. It'll be a positive journey. Sure, things that happened in my life when I was young and I majorly got into this when I was a kid. Oh, my father passed away. I went to a gathering, and this horn came around. We called it a trumpet, but it was a horn. And I could hear my father's voice say, "Put your hand up." And out of this horn came my father's wedding ring that I had cremated with him. Dropped into my hand in the spirit world. Well, that kind of changed my attitude that spirit could produce things here. They could drop things into this earth plane to connected people in our lives that passed the spirit. They drop things for us. Pennies, feathers, different things, just to get our attention. They drop it ahead of us. If I find pennies on the ground, I look at the date just to see if there's a significant date. Reason they drop that penny in front of me. Why? See, there's things that we need to watch for, connect to. But we're all walking upright. We're all walking to where we need to be. Some of us are over crawling. Some of us aren't quite making the journey. The rest of us are trying to help them. Now remember, we're always helping people. But today, what I would tell you to do, get your own machete. Cut your own path through the woods. People think you're crazy, too bad. Cut your own path. Allow other people to follow you if you want to. If they don't follow you, well, just keep cutting your path. Be you. Don't discourage your life by saying, people aren't going to like that. Do what you want to do in your life, what makes you extremely happy. If I told you to come up here and meditate in a certain way and sit a certain way, you were uncomfortable, you wouldn't do it. If I told most of the people here, you need to do this, you would probably fight me. Because you don't like being told what to do. Please ask me, but don't tell me. So when we're looking at things in our lives, books, connections, meditations, whatever we're doing in our lives to clear, to uplift, to encourage our being, make sure that what you're propelling within your system you like. It connects to you. It makes some kind of difference in your life. It fills a spot or a void within your being. Allows you to move forward. Not to stop you on the path, not to make you feel miserable on the path, but to encourage you. That's what Spirit is here for. That's why God is around you, is to encourage you on the journey, to bless you on the journey. When I was young, my grandmother told me, and she was a Cherokee Indian medicine woman, and she told me that when I came to this earth plane, somebody lit a candle in a village over there. Put that candle in the window. The whole village nurtured that candle while I'm here. Eventually, I'll go back to the village. They'll bring the candle out to me. I'll tell my life story. I'll review my life with the village and tell them what happened on my journey, on my trip to this earth plane. And when I'm done, I'll put the candle out because I'm home. We have to realize that there is a whole village on the other side nurturing our candle, nurturing our flame, taking care of it every minute, every second of every day, nurturing that candle so that they're waiting for us to come home. They're sitting in a window over there, shining off into this earth plane to allow us to know that somebody there loves us, that's connected to us, wants to be with us. So they're helping. So know that you've got a whole group over there Know that they're there to help. Nurturing. If your candle's getting a little weak, speak to them. Say, guys, maybe you could do something with this. Maybe you could help this. Ask them. And be able to receive when it arrives. Receiving blessings are not a bad thing. Receiving them are not a bad thing. But remember, whatever blessings you take and you use, what you don't use will be dispersed to others to use. Never goes to waste. Never goes to waste. It will go somewhere else. When you sit in meditation and you're sending out energy to the world, it will go where it's needed, and they will take what they need from that energy, and the rest of the energy will flow to wherever else it is needed. Never wasted. Send energy out to your loved ones, send energy out to people in the spirit, send energy out to all this stuff, knowing that it will never be wasted. It will be used. It will be blessed. And blessings will arrive because you took the time to get in contact with yourself. Encourage your heart. Allow your heart to bless others because of your presence on this earth planet. Knowing that you are blessed. And I want to thank you.